I work as Vice President of Research and Development Operations for the New York Times Company. And we run a research and development lab. And the mission of our lab is to look around corners. And what we're trying to do is anticipate the future of media and technology. And to do that, we ask ourselves the question, what do these future trends mean for customers of a news and information company like the Times? And we build things that are not intended to be today's products, but tomorrow's products. I like to say, if you've ever been to an auto show and seen the concept cars that they put out on the floor, we're building the concept cars for the news and information industry. And the concept cars that we build serve three different customer sets. They serve end users of news, they serve advertisers and marketers, and they also serve our internal constituents, our internal customers. They're the kinds of tools and technologies that editors, writers, reporters, videographers are going to need to service the next generation of news consumers.
So I got to visit the lab once, and it's full of the coolest devices I'd never heard of.
Oh,
so
thank you.
you must have a lot of fun up
fun.
there on the, I forget what floor it is.
28th floor.
28th floor, right. So today, Michael, I want to talk about data.
Yeah, let's talk about data. I love data. I love the word data. It's like so fun to say, right? It's nice and compact and almost symmetrical. It sort of reminds me of the word water. When I say water, just like when I say data, everybody has like an intuitive feeling for what I mean. Mm-hmm. But when I say water, I could mean the ocean, a bathtub, an ice cube, clouds, snowfall. And data, I feel like, is the same way. Data has so many manifestations and so many ways that it presents itself and is generated and intersects with media businesses. That's why I want to look forward to this conversation, because I'd like to unpack that a little bit with you here tonight.
I love that idea that data, the meaning of data has as much nuance as the meaning of water can have. That's actually fantastic. And we like to shorthand little data, regular data, right. Big data.
Yeah.
So what I think what you and I were really interested in talking about as we were prepping for this was data as a means of telling stories.
Right.
And I know that you believe that there's a lot of value in what could conceivably just be called little data.
That's right, that's right. So there's so much talk of big data these days. Everything's big data, right? Anybody who's a spreadsheet that's got more than 4 cells filled in has got big data. And we have this data set I'm working with here, right? But it doesn't have to be big data to be useful. And in fact, some of the most useful data is little data, arguably. And it becomes useful to us now as storytellers because we can visualize that data, or we can expose tools that allow users to explore and interact with that data. We do an awful lot of this at the Times, all throughout our product and all throughout the R&D lab as well. So, for example, we did an interactive graphic for the presidential election, and it was back when the race was still undecided, and every day we were all tracking the horse race, and there were 9 undecided swing states. Okay. So as an ex-math leaguer, you know that with 9 undecided swing states, each of which have 2 possible outcomes, there are 2 to the 9th possible outcomes depending upon who wins each state. So 2 to the 9th, I was not a math leaguer.
What's
I believe
the math?
Is 512.
512?
So there are 512 different permutations for this outcome, and these are the sorts of things that you could write in a story, and it gets very laborious. Or somebody on air could be explaining that if Ohio goes this way and Pennsylvania goes this way, then Romney would have to win North Carolina. But we made this very interactive and explorable, so you could just pick the winner and watch the trees merge and see how the race could turn out, depending upon which of these swing states swung whichever way. And it was just a very clear, fun, engaging way to tell the story.
You did make me think, though, it must be in some ways scary, but also really liberating for a traditional print publication, the Gray Lady, to be able to create beautiful visualizations and tell stories in totally different ways.
Absolutely, it's completely energized our graphics organization. Our whole organization has really reinvented itself as a digitally centric organization that is designed to serve modern news consumers. Yeah.
So does that mean you hire completely different kinds of people?
We have. It's interesting. Since the time that I joined the Times, which was 7 years ago. At that time, I think we had something like 30 or 40 software engineers. I think now we have something close to 200.
Wow.
Our graphics department was principally a print graphics department, and at that time now, our graphics department is I don't know the exact numbers, but like most of the people, half the people, more than half the people are very adept with HTML, HTML5, Flash. So we've slowly but surely been adding these digital competencies throughout the organization, and it's really starting to add up. I think you really see it in the product.
Yeah, I mean, so I was talking earlier with Ashley about the dearth of analytics talent inside of marketing organizations, but I guess it probably goes both ways. I mean, are you guys bulking up on your analytics personnel?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, I would say that we're just scratching the surface because it's a big, complicated problem, and you need, as you were saying in your CMO series, you need systems in place. You really need to know what questions you're trying to answer, to what ends you're trying to put it. But similarly to the competencies that have arisen in the graphics department and in software engineering, we have way more people in analytics, in web analytics, in e-commerce now too. Now that we're really a paid product, so we're beginning to transact business a little bit more like a retailer, and I think that is attracting a whole new set of talent into the company.